Officer Beth Roof, Bethrooff, Lmpd, PIO.
Let's get straight into just the basics of this Halloween safety. What are just some of the basic do or don'ts that you guys suggest coming Monday and then this weekend for Halloween?
You know, everybody's looking forward to Halloween. We're all really excited and we want everybody to feel safe. You know, one of the main things for everybody to keep in mind is, what do kids have their mind on? Candy for Halloween. So they are not thinking about safety. That's why we really suggest that an adult or supervisor is always with kids to make sure that they're overseeing them and making sure they're obeying all the traffic laws. And, you know, make sure pedestrians, you know, when you're walking the kids, make sure that you're stopping and making sure you're clearing those intersections before you proceed through. I mean, kids are going to run and dart through. So we also ask motorists, please slow down on Halloween, especially when you're in those residential areas. Make sure you're not distracted by your cell phones or electronic devices. Put those down, because kids are known to run in between cars when they're thinking about candy. Heck, adults run between cars when they're thinking about candy. So really be careful this Halloween. We want to make sure everybody's safe out there on the roadways and when you're walking. You know, make sure you're wearing visible clothing. If your kids are out trick-or-treating, you as an adult even, make sure you're wearing clothing that's bright. Make sure the kids have flashlights or some type of light-up device, glow sticks. Those are all really great things to make them a little more visible.
Perfect. And in terms of the candy safety as well, I know there's a lot of times where parents are not as careful in terms of checking their kids' candy and things like that. Is that something that you guys kind of suggest? Or
You know, some things with the candy safety, just make sure everything is packaged properly. We wouldn't suggest receiving stuff that's been homemade or anything like that. And we don't suggest that people hand that out either. Make sure that it's store-bought candy that's properly packaged. And we don't ever really have a lot of reports of any issues with that kind of stuff. The one thing, you know, you do want to make sure that you just give it a good look over, but nothing too, you know, crazy. It seems like that's kind of an urban legend that bad stuff happens like that. But
I know I've been told that there's a few hot spots here in Louisville in terms of Halloween destinations. In terms of the day, just checking out decorations. What should people do in terms of maybe to avoid or to I guess be respectful of when they are visiting those locations?
sure, we definitely have a few areas and few neighborhoods and streets that really go all out in decorating for Halloween. Just make sure if you are going to visit those areas that you allow plenty of time, that you're very patient, and if you have to drive through those areas, please do so with due regard and the utmost caution, because everybody wants to enjoy Halloween and people do get very distracted by all of the decorations and by the candy. So just make sure that you exercise an abundance of caution, slow down, limit your distractions with electronic devices, make sure you do have your kids within an arm's reach so that nobody's running out into the roadways.
Does Lmpd have any special plans in terms of the routes they'll be taking, or just in terms of just kind of the game plan for Halloween and Halloween weekend?
You know, on holidays like Halloween, when there are a ton of pedestrians out and everybody's out in the neighborhood enjoying themselves, Lmpd will be out and visible like we always are. We all hope for good weather so officers can get out on foot in the neighborhoods and visit everybody as well, because let's be honest, we enjoy Halloween just like the kids do. Everybody enjoys Halloween. So we hope to be able to do that with everybody in our neighborhoods as well.
Jumping off of, talk about a bunch of people out, everybody gets excited about Halloween. Something that we've seen from time to time, kiddos just run off. How often do you see that? And then what are things that parents and, guardians or whoever's going out with the children, what are some things they can do to prevent that from happening?
I think one of the biggest safety tips that I can give on this is, I'm a parent myself, and I know when you go around in groups, sometimes people will think one adult is responsible and, oh, I thought you were looking, I thought you had an eye on them, or I thought you had an eye on them. Designate one adult to be the supervisor, to make sure that they are the ones who are keeping an eye on the kids. So that person will be responsible, make sure everybody's staying together, and traveling in groups is a really smart idea. Make sure you stay accountable for each other and everybody knows where everybody is, so we don't leave anybody behind.
And who could they contact if one of their kids does run off?
if you do have a child that's missing, please call us. That would be a 911 situation. Now, give it a little time and make sure that we didn't just leave a kid at another house, you know, and just didn't account for where they may still be. But definitely, if we find that we're in an emergency situation, please call us. We're certainly here to help, and we want to make sure we keep everyone safe on this Halloween.
Halloween is also a time to trick or treat. So there's some shenanigans going on during Halloween as well. Is there anything that you guys have seen over the years that people should look out for, or you're kind of requesting for them to stop during this Halloween weekend?
You know, I think there's kind of the standard pumpkin smashing and stuff like that. I mean, really, it's just be a good human being, you know, be kind to your neighbors. Don't tear down and steal their decorations. I mean, I think most of the things that we see that are pretty typical are that. Just be a good neighbor, be a good person, and don't damage people's decorations. Good.